tonight on CTV3 News. The Philip Golson Highway plays witness to another fatal traffic accident. The victim is a 39-year-old Darnell Hughes. Here in Orange Walk, cops are investigating the death of a 40-year-old man who was found unresponsive inside his home. And a racist comment made on Facebook by local tour guide against Olivia Geese, fourth runner-up at the Miss Universe pageant representing Côte d'Ivoire, causes public backlash. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Monday, March 38, 2026.
From whiskeys and wines to elegantly crafted cocktails. Paired with charcuterie boards and perfectly seasoned steak bites, and much more. Perfect for celebrations, quiet nights, and every special occasion in between. 7 Notes Wine and Spirits. 7 Notes Wine and Spirits, where every sip hits the right note.
ExpressNet now has up to 400 megabytes of high-speed internet. Choose the speed that fits you. From faster browsing to faster gaming. Connect more devices at once. Or bundle it with Express Plus and HBO Max. Internet and streaming entertainment, all in one.
Yeah, faster starts here.
Sign up today at any Centaur office or contact us to get started.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
From Belize to Mexico, the journey of football's greatest moments will unite nations. Mexico, the only country to host the World Cup 3 times, 1970, 1986, and now in 2026, you can be a part of the game with Centaur. We're sending you and a friend to experience the opening of the World Cup firsthand. 2 tickets, flights, 3-night stay, and daily cash. One incredible opportunity. How to enter? Sign up for one of our new Express Plus bundles. Remember, faster speeds mean more entries. Existing customers, keep your account at 0 balance or pay in advance to be eligible. Plus, engage with us on social media for even more chances to win. The 2026 World Cup in Mexico awaits. Don't just watch, be part of it and score big with Centaur.
In 2023, Belize pioneered the establishment of ITSA STEAM Academy, the first public STEAM high school in Belize and the region. The 2025-2026 budget supported the Academy's financial needs, covering both teacher and staff remunerations as well as operational costs. The 2026-2027 budget will continue this support and provide free education to approximately 300 students, comprising the Academy's full enrollment for the upcoming school year. Additionally, the Ministry of Education, in partnership with development partners, will construct 6 STEAM pavilions, 1 in each district, during the 2026-2027, expanding access to innovative STEAM education nationwide.
with your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. A fatal road traffic accident along the Philip Golson Highway in Ladyville has claimed the life of a Belize City man early this morning. The crash occurred around 3 a.m. near the Tubal School at mile 12, involved two vehicles. 39-year-old Darnell Humes was pronounced dead at the scene as a result of injuries sustained in the collision. Two other individuals, that is, a male and a female, were also injured in the crash and have since been transported for medical treatment. Both remain in critical condition.
Police are investigating a traffic accident which resulted in the death of Darrell Humes, a 30-year-old Belizean of Lords Bank Village, and the injury of two others. The investigation commenced on Saturday, 28 March 2026 at approximately 2:45 a.m. when officers were advised of a head-on collision between miles 10 and 11 on the Philip Golson Highway. The officers responded to the scene of the incident, and upon their arrival, they observed a Ford Explorer and a Ford Escape, both of which exhibited extensive damage. Observed in the Ford Escape was an unconscious male person who was later learned to be Mr. Humes. Also observed on the scene of the accident were Lara Budna and Eric Tillett, both of whom were traveling on board the Ford Explorer, and they too had injuries to their body. These persons were transported to the hospital for medical attention. Whilst Budna is listed in a critical condition and Tillett in a stable condition, Hume succumbed to the injuries that he sustained in the accident. A review of the scene of the accident suggests that Humes, who was on board the Ford Escape, was traveling from the direction of Belize City to Orange Walk and the other vehicle in the opposite direction. Due to the fact that the collision occurred in the left lane when heading in a northerly direction, it is suspected that the Ford Escape veered into the other lane, resulting in the collision.
Authorities have noted an increase in deadly traffic collisions in recent weeks. With the Easter weekend approaching, police are urging motorists to exercise caution while on the roads, including adhering to speed limits and avoiding reckless driving.
Us as a department have tailored our operations in this regard. They are no longer stationary checkpoints, but they are roving checkpoints that are done within these peak periods within which it is suspected that persons may be traveling under the influence, all with a view to deter. However, the onus remains on the individual drivers to take heed, pay attention, and drive cautiously on the road, especially when it is that the weather conditions are not favorable or there are obstructions due to ongoing construction work.
Investigations into the circumstances surrounding the accident are ongoing. A man's sudden death is under investigation by authorities following a reported seizure incident on Monday morning here in Orange Walk Town. According to reports, the incident occurred shortly before 10 a.m. on San Francisco Street, where police received a call about a male person experiencing seizures. Upon arrival, officers found the 40-year-old individual lying face up and unresponsive inside the residence. Preliminary findings indicate that earlier that morning, the man was inside his apartment when he began to tremble and eventually collapsed. A woman who was present at the scene left to seek help, but by the time she returned, he was already unconscious. Investigators noted that the man had been suffering from a high fever for about a month and was known to consume alcohol regularly. He had visited the Northern Regional Hospital the day prior and was discharged the same day. Authorities observed no signs of trauma and do not suspect foul play in the case. His body was transported to the Northern Regional Hospital morgue, where a post-mortem examination has been scheduled to determine the exact cause of death. A knife-point robbery that occurred in Belize City over the weekend resulted in the quick arrest of a suspect and the discovery of suspected crack cocaine. According to police, a 22-year-old woman was walking along Antelope Street on Sunday when she was approached by a man armed with a knife. The assailant allegedly demanded her phone, cash, and jewelry before kicking her and fleeing the scene. Speaking on the incident today, Assistant Superintendent Stacy Smith stated that officers promptly launched an investigation utilizing surveillance footage to identify the suspect. Their efforts led them to a residence on Antelope Street Extension within hours of the report. During a search of the property, police discovered 8.9 grams of suspected crack cocaine. Following the operation, 35-year-old Sherman Rodney was detained and is expected to face a charge of robbery. He, along with 26-year-old Janae Stewart and 24-year-old Vincent Tillett, has also been charged with possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply.
Police are in the process of levying a charge of robbery against Sherman Rodney, a 35-year-old Belizean of Antelope Street Extension. This impending charge follows police's investigation into a report of a robbery made by a 22-year-old female who reported that on Sunday, March 29, 2026, at approximately 12:05 a.m., she was walking on Antelope Street Extension when she was robbed by a male person who brandished a knife and demanded that she handed over phone, cash, and jewelry that were in her possession. The male person, before making good his escape, is reported to have kicked the female. An investigation was launched, which included a review of the police cameras located in that area where useful information was obtained. As a consequence of this, some 4 hours after the incident, police executed a search warrant at a property on Antelope Street Extension. This search resulted in the discovery of several items that are believed to be the property of the female. As a consequence of this, Mr. Rodney was informed of the reason of his arrest, namely robbery. Also emanating from that search was the discovery of 8.9 grams of suspected crack cocaine. As a consequence of this, Rodney, along with 2 others, namely Janae Stewart, 26 years old, and Vincent Tillett, 24 years old, were jointly charged for the offense of possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply to another.
Social media was abuzz over the weekend following the visit of Olivia, who arrived in Belize. A photo shared online of Olivia alongside Miss Universe Belize Isabella Zabani quickly gained attention among users. However, the visit soon became the center of controversy after a local tour guide posted a distasteful comment under the image. The individual, identified as Alexander Alex Mess, used a racially derogatory term in reference to Olivia, sparking widespread outrage. Belizeans from across the country condemned the remark, calling it offensive and unacceptable. The backlash prompted Mess to issue a public apology in which he claimed he had been intoxicated at the time the comment was made.
I felt guilty of what have happened because of the comment. I didn't notice if that comment would go anywhere further that way. However, at that time, yesterday morning, I was just going through a family dispute, and then myself and my wife is having a little family dispute, so I was like under the influence, and apparently after I get pissed off, and I just went and comment and never did check my messages until like 8 at night. That's when I checked my messages, and then I see I've been blasted all over social media, different people commenting, and I'm pretty much getting a lot of cyber attack through my messages from people who are not known of me, who are my friends, my colleagues. They have private messaged me, and I felt really guilty of what has happened. That's why I'm now here pleading to the news media that please rephrase back my the comments, which is I have deleted it, and I would like to apologize for the person on the photo. I'm not quite sure who's her name again. So I would like to apologize to her and then for giving that bad comment, and which is now it's reflecting on me, which is a lot of people who are actually exposing my profession and stuff like that, which is it will literally affect me a lot, because then this morning when I woke up, I went on a tour and I felt as guilty, and my mind is not really focusing on what I normally do. But okay, so I'm glad that she came to visit our beautiful country, and I would really like her to enjoy the rest of the day in the.
Despite the controversy, Olivia addressed the situation while speaking to the media at an event this morning. She chose to focus on promoting positivity in the face of negativity.
There was always going to be, hate or people who have negative things to say about you. And that's also something that I always want to teach the young girls, is that despite what life throws at you, you have to keep going. You always have to see the positive side of things and the bright side of things, and understand that sometimes people project, and that's okay. And that's not something that you have to put on yourself, but instead give love back. I'm a Christian, so I do believe in giving grace to people. But again, the most important is to give love back, and life continues.
The incident has reignited discussions around respect, accountability, and the responsible use of social media in Belize. The World Meteorological Organization, WMO, has officially unveiled a list of storm names for the upcoming 2026 Atlantic hurricane season, which is set to commence on June 1st. This annual event marks the beginning of another critical period for weather monitoring and preparedness along the Atlantic coastline and across the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico. The 2026 list includes 21 names, selected years in advance and set to be reused every 6 years unless a storm's impact warrants retirement of its name. The names slated for this year are Arthur, Bertha, Cristobal, Dolly, Edward, Faye, Gonzalo, Hannah, Isaias, Josephine, Kyle, Leah, Marco, Nana, Omar, Paulette, Renee, Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and Wilfred. Should conditions align, the Atlantic could soon be hearing about Tropical Storm Dolly or Hurricane Hannah. Storm names serve a vital purpose, simplifying communication. Historically, storms were identified by their coordinates, which was often confusing, especially amid multiple systems brewing simultaneously. The current naming system introduced by the WMO assigns human names to tropical systems once they reach sustained winds of 39 miles per hour, classifying them as tropical storms, and upgrades them to hurricanes at 74 miles per hour. While official forecasts for the 2026 season have yet to be issued, early climate signals suggest the potential development of El Niño, a natural climate pattern that typically suppresses Atlantic hurricane activity. El Niño increases wind shear across the basin, disrupting storm formation and often leading to a near or below average season. Historically, the Atlantic averages 14 named storms annually, with about half strengthening into hurricanes based on data from 1991 to 2020. The anticipation of a possibly subdued season due to El Niño does not diminish the importance of vigilance and preparedness. Every year, hurricanes pose a significant risk to lives, property, and economies. Experts recommend that residents along vulnerable coastlines review emergency plans, ensure supplies are stocked, and stay informed through official weather updates. As the season approaches, meteorologists and authorities worldwide continue to monitor climate indicators, ready to issue warnings and coordinate response efforts. The 2026 Atlantic hurricane season promises to be another critical period for weather safety and resilience. Coming up next, bus operators seek relief amid rising fuel costs. They urge GOB to exempt taxes, offer subsidies, or allow fare hikes. Stay tuned.
From Belize to Mexico, the journey of football's greatest moments will unite nations. Mexico, the only country to host the World Cup 3 times, 1970, 1986, and now in 2026, you can be a part of the game with Centaur. We're sending you and a friend to experience the opening of the World Cup firsthand. 2 tickets, flights, 3-night stay, and daily cash. One incredible opportunity. How to enter? Sign up for one of our new Express Plus bundles. Remember, faster speeds mean more entries. Existing customers, keep your account at 0 balance or pay in advance to be eligible. Plus, engage with us on social media for even more chances to win. The 2026 World Cup in Mexico awaits. Don't just watch, be part of it and score big with Centaur.
The Orange Walk Town Council is inviting applications from suitably qualified and motivated individuals to fill 5 garbage fee collector positions within our revenue department. Minimum requirements: high school diploma, friendly and people-oriented personality, tech-savvy, must own reliable transportation, preferably a motorcycle, honest and dependable. Interested applicants are asked to submit the following documents: application letter, copy of high school diploma, valid social security card, 2 character references. Applications must be submitted in person to the Orange Walk Town Council office by February 20th, 2026. Join our team and contribute to keeping Orange Walk clean and organized.
There's a saying I often return to, and that is a Chinese saying, that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Today, Belize chooses now, because Belize has always lived under the shade of the tree. Remember Sobumbra floreo. Our forests, mangroves, rivers, and farms are not just features of our landscape, they are part of who we are as a people. They protect us from storms, feed our families, support livelihoods, and anchor our resilience in a changing climate. But we also know this truth: what we do not protect, we will eventually lose.
Greening Belize, 1 million trees for climate and sustainable development. Our forest cover is declining, especially after the fire season. What will be achieved? Restore and reforested lands, significant increase in hectares restored by 2035. Enhance carbon sequestration. We'll have improved data, mapping, and reporting systems with this. Institutional readiness, feasibility study and design for a national forestry incentive program. Community mobilization, which will build capacity and increase participation nationally, and improve governance.
For all environmentally conscious individuals and groups, CBOs, NGOs, community organizations, universities, come in to do their part to plant trees to assist in the restoration initiative for the country of Belize.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
8 immigration officers at the western border in Cayo reported feeling unwell today, with only 2 providing certified medical documentation to support their claims. Sources indicate that prior to this incident, senior officials within the Ministry of Immigration engaged directly with officers stationed at the port. When asked about their concerns, no complaints or signs of dissatisfaction with leadership or working conditions were brought to light. Reports reveal the ministry has not received any formal grievances regarding the port commander or recent operation changes. However, it is alleged that the recent absences are linked to disagreements over decisions made by the port commander, particularly measures aimed at curbing improper practices at the port. These actions are said to have disrupted long-standing unofficial activities. The absence of these officers poses challenges to operations at the border, especially during a period marked by a significant increase in traveler traffic. Within the government, including the Ministry of Immigration, established channels exist for officers to voice concerns through structured and fair processes. Officials emphasize that the ministry is taking this situation very seriously and will implement appropriate measures to ensure the continuity of operations and to maintain accountability within the department. In a clear stance on fare adjustments, Minister of Transport Dr. Louise Zabani has stated that bus operators are not permitted to independently raise their fares despite recent surges in diesel prices. This declaration comes after reports surfaced that some operators had started to increase fares shortly following the spike in fuel cost. In response, the ministry issued a strong warning emphasizing that any unauthorized fare hikes are illegal without prior approval from the relevant authorities. Dr. Zabani stressed the importance of adherence to the established fare structures, which are regulated by law. He acknowledged the financial strain caused by the rising cost of diesel, but reiterated that any fare modifications must go through the official regulatory channels.
We've sent out an advisory to all operators, those that are not members of the National Bus Company, and indeed anyone that's running a bus run, if you will, village runs or wherever they are working, that there's a specified rate for operators that must be abided by, a ceiling above which they cannot go. So we saw a couple operators trying to increase their rates, and we have already advised them that they must stay within the regulation.
The ministry has already contacted bus operators who attempted to implement fare increases, advising them to comply with the legally set limits. While bus fares remain the same for now, this can change in the near future as bus operators have already written to the Minister of Transport requesting some sort of relief. In a letter dated March 30th, the Belize Bus Association states that the recent hike in the cost of fuel has led to a significant rise in operational expenses, including fuel and parts. Based on this fact, the BBA is requesting that Minister Zabani assist with some sort of relief to alleviate the burden operators are currently facing. Their recommendation is for government to exempt the general sales tax from the purchase of fuel, tires, and parts, provide the subsidies similar to what was done during the COVID pandemic, or allow the bus owners to increase the fares to cover the increased cost. The recent change in fuel prices comes hand in hand with several transformations in the transport industry. With the National Bus Company now under full operation, several hurdles have been identified. As the Ministry of Transport finds solutions to these challenges, the Ministry of Transport, Louise Zabani, is asking commuters and the public at large for patience.
To arrive in September and phase in up to the end of next year, 2027. To arrive in September and phase in up to
overnight.
To arrive in September and phase in up to the end of next year, 2027. and the fleet that is now in place will be gradually replaced by these new buses. These issues started out from 2004 when we had the collapse of the consolidated Novello enterprise. And since then, with new road service permits being given out, we've had the situation become what really motivated us to take this approach of a national bus company owned jointly by the people of Belize through the government, by operators and by institutional investors. We ask the public to understand that this correction, this improvement cannot be done in 20 days. It cannot be done in 20 hours. And I'm sure some people would have why happening in 20 minutes. It cannot happen. It will take 20 months for you to start to see the benefits. Why? Because it's not like we got a pool of $100 million at our hands and we can just bring buses and have them all ready.
There is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
From Belize to Mexico, the journey of football's greatest moments will unite nations. Mexico, the only country to host the World Cup 3 times, 1970, 1986, and now in 2026, you can be a part of the game with Centaur. We're sending you and a friend to experience the opening of the World Cup firsthand. 2 tickets, flights, 3-night stay, and daily cash. One incredible opportunity. How to enter? Sign up for one of our new Express Plus bundles. Remember, faster speeds mean more entries. Existing customers, keep your account at 0 balance or pay in advance to be eligible. Plus, engage with us on social media for even more chances to win. The 2026 World Cup in Mexico awaits. Don't just watch, be part of it and score big with Centaur.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
Her Excellency Dame Froilas Zalam received letters of credence from 2 newly appointed ambassadors to Belize. His Excellency Amino CY3, Ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan, and Her Excellency Ana Luisa Vallejo Barba, Ambassador of the United Mexican States, presented their credentials at the Belize House in Bamapan. The ambassadors each expressed their hopes of forging stronger bonds with Belize during their tenure. The Governor General extended a warm welcome to the diplomats and conveyed well wishes on behalf of the people of Belize. The Belize Fisheries Department has officially declared the closure of the Queen Conch fishery effective at the close of business on April 6, 2026. This action, taken in accordance with Statutory Instrument Number 54 of 2012, comes after the realization of the Queen Conch production quota for the 2025-2026 fishing season. Honorable Andre Perez, Minister of Blue Economy and Marine Conservation, emphasized that the closure is necessary to ensure sustainable management of the conch population. Fishers and the public are advised that all conch fishing activities must cease immediately and will remain closed until the next season opens on October 1st, 2026. Importantly, Belizeans and visitors are encouraged to enjoy the conch delicacy responsibly. The Fisheries Department reminds everyone that they have until after Easter, specifically until April 6, 2026, to use, consume, and dispose of all Queen Conch meat currently in their possession. After this date, possession of conch will be illegal and subject to prosecution under the fisheries regulation. The department also urges the public to remain vigilant and report any illegal fishing activities. Calls can be made to the Fisheries Department at telephone number 224-4552. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Tuesday, March 31st here on CTV3 News and Face FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.